So this is a fun one, and this option tends to be the one that kind of gets picked the most from students because there's a lot of room to explore, and you don't have to kind of get your feet wet too much. Yeah, it's not too muddy, like some of the other ones where you're just emotionally drained by the time you get done. This one is more speculative, so it's a little more relaxed. So for this one, we are talking about healthcare resources. So I've dogged a couple spots in the textbook. We have a spot here. It's in part 3, chapter 10, called Autonomy, Mercy, and Harm. This one is talking about basically if you're a doctor and you only have 5 doses of medicine and you can only save 3 people, who are the 3 people that you save and why? Because you are duty bound to save all 5 people, but triage is triage, right? So what do you do? So for this one right here, you're going to discuss a handful of things. This blue light on these computers are killing me. I have a handful of articles here that kind of talk about limited resources and who gets what. And you're going to talk about here. First, you'll just kind of get the academic stuff out of the way, talk about the discrimination in the medical field, and that's where you'll find a lot of that here in the textbook. And then using one of the articles, which one do you want to discuss and why? So pick one of these and discuss it and talk to us about it. For example, this one right here, the ongoing veteran healthcare, we just did this in another class, and a student was talking about how they are a medic and how they, were they were out in Afghanistan and they only had a limited amount of supplies at the time. And it was a wild story about how to make sure all of the people on the team were getting care when they knew they might not get a supply run for a few weeks. So it was definitely interesting. And so pick one to discuss. And then discuss how your choice would exist in your preferred moral theory. So, for example, if your virtues or utilitarianism, you have your ideology, after you've kind of discussed what it is and why, would it even exist? Because, you may be a medic, you'd be like, hey, my religion aligns itself really close to utilitarianism. So I would have to, I have to cut slink, you'd have to figure out who's not going to get it, So for this one right here, you are discussing kind of what is the article about and how it would fit into the grander scope of our ethics. And then this is the bottom one right here. This kind of puts yourself into an ethical dilemma as the doctor. So this is why I said most students will pick this one, because you get to speculate. It's kind of the trade scenario. A trade is coming in and you can only save one person. Do you save your mom or your dad? That type of situation. So for this option right here, you're really just kind of exploring the boundaries of care when you have a limited amount of resources. And we do live in a day and age where we do have a lot of resources, if you could afford it. So that's one of the articles even talks about that, how much care do you give to the poor? If you can't afford care, do you deserve care? So it gets a little murky. So, all right, so that's what this topic is about. I said students usually have fun with this one, so I hope you enjoy it. If you need anything or have any questions, please let me know.